I want to ask you why you built your travel business. What was it that you're looking to show or share with the world? Is it the adventures that you love? Some things that you've stumbled upon? The location and the experiences that mean so much to you and the connections that you've built? I want you to sit with that for a minute. I'm going to come back to that question a little bit later. But while I'm going through the next bit, have a think and a ponder and a reflect on it. Because I know for a fact that you didn't build this business to be in the middle of it 24/7. Every supplier issue, every question, every client complaint coming through you without you having a moment to enjoy the business you've built, enjoy the life you've built, and have everything rely on you. If you don't know who I am, and why I'm creating this video, I'm Bella Hegarty, and I work with founders or MDs of experience, adventure, multi-day or single-day tours to be able to create a sense of calm and structure to how they're delivering their guest experience and operations so that they can focus on doing the things that only they can do while their team or their systems are able to operate the rest. Let's dive into it. Most founders that I speak to, when I speak to them, always come with different variations of exactly the same problem. So these are usually things like, I'm wearing all of the hats in my business. I need to focus on sales, marketing, team growth, systems, operations, visibility, client communications. We need new partnerships, and we need to look at how we're working with our different partners and accounts, tax, all of these different things that we as a business owner have going on in our head at the very same time. But typically what they say is that I'm feeling really frenetic right now. It feels very chaotic. I don't have a focus on any one thing. I don't feel like I can finish everything. I start loads of amazing things, but I need someone to help me finish it. And it ends up feeling like the business is running them versus the other way around. And the instinct for many, and this doesn't just relate to travel, this relates to so many service businesses that I've worked with over the last 6 years, they think one or two things. One, I need to hire someone. I need someone to take stuff off my plate so I can focus on the things that only I can do. Or I need to automate things. And now in this new age of AI, saying, how can we get our AI to replace some of the things that I was doing so that I don't have to do them anymore, which is great. But often that doesn't fix the problem. It solves it for a little bit. You bring somebody in, they help manage, and sometimes you're looking for someone like a VA, someone in operations to help manage various things, or you need a specialist in a certain area because you're looking to bring on those tours, but then they deal with that part of it, but the operational issues are still there. If anything, that adding systems, adding processes, adding tools, then means there's more for you to deal with, more questions, more complications, more client challenges. And the pattern is often that we end up doing more and more things. We're trying to add more and more. And that only adds to the layers of complexity. Whether you're a team of 2 or a team of 15 to 20, the problems won't be any different. They'll just be on a larger scale. And often the result for you as a founder, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you're feeling really stretched, really stressed, and frankly, probably a little bit close to the limit of burning out. Now, I'm going to re-ask you that same question that I asked you at the beginning. Why did you create or get involved with this business? Now, for some of you, you might not be able to answer that. And if you can't answer that, I would strongly encourage you to start there, because those questions of why am I still doing this are probably really high in your thought processes right now. Because if you don't have an answer to your why, like I can talk about Simon Sinek, starting with the why. If you haven't read it, go and read it, because it really helps divulge those questions that sit above motivation. But if you're that founder who knows exactly why you're starting this business, you wanted to share something amazing with the world. You live in a certain location, you've had certain experiences that have brought you so much joy and have made you into the person that you are today, and you want to share those with others. The people that you've met along the way and the experiences that you've had have come from the adventures and the explorations that you've had. Or you want to shed light on some of the amazing things that other people are doing in the world to improve it, to give back. And You want to help educate and share some of those incredible things with others. Or just quite simply that you absolutely love adventure, or you fell into this business because you started when you were younger as a guide, or you got involved in the tourism sector. And as you've grown up, more people have come back, and therefore you've gone out on your own and you've started your own thing. And it might be not what you initially thought that you would do, but you're an expert at it. You do so well and you do really love it. So you created a business out of it. Now, if it's not that, and you have another reason, please tell me in the comments as to why you created your business. I would love to know, because origin stories are a huge thing for me. With that, what's your ultimate goal? How are you looking to live your life? And that's a really big part of it. Like I said, when you created this business, you didn't create it to be at the middle of everything. Did you always want to be on? Did you always want to be chasing clients? Did you want to feel like you're in this on your own with no support on how you can move the business forward? Because you might not want to be the intrepid of the world. And I've said this quite a few times, and that's absolutely fine. You may want to grow a boutique business that spans the region that you're in or the village that you're in. You want to be a smaller expert in what you do, or you want to grow exponentially. However, if as you've grown this business, you've not put in place structures, processes, operations, designed an experience that is sustainable, manageable to deliver, and has a lot of clarity to how it works, you might find yourself being at the center of everything all the time. As you grow, there's a very high chance that you'll only become more indispensable with more layers of complexity, the more people that you add to this. It may feel like a bit of a workload problem right now. There's so much work on that I can't possibly look up. But what I'm going to tell you is that it's a structural one. Every decision may have started to run through you because you are the expert, which is absolutely right. You absolutely are the expert in what you do. But they stay running through you because of a lack of structure in how someone else can take on that responsibility. And what I mean by this is that without a structure or a process or a way of working or a designed experience and operational, should I say, architecture of how we run our business, it means that team members don't necessarily know how to handle the communications themselves. They are able to have those transactional communications, but when it comes to decision making or escalation touch points, or if something goes wrong, you're the one that they come to with, how do I deal with this? If a guest has an issue and you've hired someone else to deal with it, and I see this happen quite a lot, is when you start to take that step back and you bring someone else into the process, if you have no structure, introductions, handoff points, and have that team member come in at the right time, then typically a client that's always used to you being there, or you being the main center point of the business, will always want to come to you. And I've seen clients actually not want to work with a company because they're not dealing with the founder anymore. And typically businesses change. As you grow, you bring on more team members and you bring on other senior members of the team that you want to do the work and you want to have those communications, because actually, one, for you internally, it's cheaper to do that. But also, you don't want everything to always be reliant on you, because you actually have to focus on other things. This also shows up in areas like having time to really structure what that DMC partnership needs to look like. If you as a travel agent, or even you as a DMC is working with guides, not having clarity on how they should communicate, what those expectations are, how you're going to work together, means that issues that show up on the trip itself, either the DMC can't handle it and the client comes directly to you. And sometimes that's necessary, but sometimes it's the smallest issues that actually cost you so much more in time, money, and headspace to deal with than actually helping the DMC work through what they need to do. Or if you're that DMC, there is issues with actually maintaining the quality and the experience. The travel business, when they've brought that client on, means that who sits with the ownership or the responsibility when something goes wrong? Is it the travel business? Is it you? Now, I have my own theories about this, but having a solid experience, having a solid process, a way of working as to how we deal with things, help you have trips run smoothly, help you navigate what to do when things go wrong, help you provide an exceptional experience for the client who sees it as a seamless journey from one to another. Now, it doesn't necessarily all have to be under a white labeled branch of who this business is, because I think there's so much beauty in actually working with partners on the ground that you know, you trust, and they have their own businesses and you want to highlight and showcase that versus running it as yourself. And it depends on who you are and what business that you run. That's completely up to you. But I think what is really key to highlight on here is how those work successfully is because of good, solid relationships, clear expectations, structures and processes on how and ways of working, on how you interact with each other, one with team members, one with DMCs, one with partners and guides, and one with you as a travel business and how you operate, work, your values, everything. All of these things as you grow. And I think they often get implemented as they come up or in retrospect from something happening, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But if we don't have clarity on where we're going, the structures that are essential for us to build right from the start, or if we're not proactively thinking about this, we're always working and running our business and growing our business in reactive mode. What will ultimately happen, and what does happen, and I see happen a lot, is it impacts our reviews. It impacts what clients come back to us again and again. It impacts our profit margins because of the amount of back and forth that we end up having to do, which you might not notice, but it costs you money every single time you do that, even if you're not recording it. Let's jump into how you're going to fix it, because that's what you're all here for. There are two types of founders that are probably watching this video right now, and I'd be interested to hear which box you would put yourself in. Firstly, the founder that can see this coming. So either you're looking really proactively at your business, you've got high season en route, and you know that it's going to get really busy and you've already got a lot of bookings coming in that you currently don't know how you're going to manage. Or you want to take a step back, but you don't want it to all fall apart when you do. Or you're actively knowing that you need to make yourself redundant into the business, but you're just not sure how that structure, how those systems are going to operate. And you are looking at so many other things you'd actively like to make sure that this is something that you don't take on because it's not your area of specialism. Or you're that founder that is already feeling it. Your team and your margins are stretched. You're building everything super bespoke, which is by design in your process, but you're creating every itinerary from scratch over and over, and it's costing you and sucking everything out of your margins that you have, which leaves you with very little profit. Hiring, maybe because of that, or alternatively, is not realistic right now, or you just don't want to. You want a more cost-effective solution. Partly if you're a UK-based company with employee tax and national insurance, how expensive everything is right now, it makes it a lot more challenging. Also, you know, with the changing landscape of business, AI and automation, there is more that you can do with less, which is actually okay. And you want your team to be focusing on the human things that only they can do, with the structures to support them so they're not stuck doing all of the manual stuff. And you know, and you feel the pinch that you feel like you should be doing more. So with that, what I would advise you firstly and foremost is to zoom out. Go back to that first question. What is it that you're actually looking to create? Where are you looking to take this business over the next 3, 5, and 10 years? Now, if that is you eventually selling the business because you're at a point where you'd actually like to retire maybe, or you would like to set this business up so that it could potentially be acquired by another company, or you would like to have someone else come in and run it for you, and you can take a step back completely and just enjoy life, or that you want it to grow exponentially. All of these things there that I just explained, you need structure in place in order to be able to do. The second thing that you then need to do following that is map your business. Now, when I say map your business, I would first recommend to have a look at different parts of the business that you feel like you're spending a lot of time on. Because if I just said map your business, that could be anything. You could be looking at financial process, you could be looking at HR structures. And the way I would recommend to look at it is think about the things that are taking up a lot of your headspace and time that you don't feel that need to be you anymore. So whether that's around guest communications or what happens when something goes wrong, you're diving into a specific part of your customer experience and identifying what specifically it is that is causing those issues. So whether that's in your sales process where itineraries are taking a hell of a lot of time and you're physically having to build and be on top of a lot of those, maybe there's where you need to simplify and map to see what you can do. Maybe it's in the fact that you can't get any guests to come back again and you're spending so much time on new business. Then I'd have a look at your offboarding and all of the opportunities that you can upsell and find that you can bring clients back again, looking at your retention strategy and looking at improving your guest experience. If it's something to do with your operations, you're finding you're physically doing a lot of the communications with guests, your communication process and how you're managing that. If it's to do with your DMCs and your relationship with them, what are you communicating to them? How do you set the expectation of what an experience with you is like? Are there any specific nuances? Do you need to communicate more about certain types of clients? What information do they need to know to make sure that they're providing the most successful trip on the ground that is possible? So reflect on that, look back on it and map those areas so that you can see what specifically is draining your time, how it's structured currently, and how you can improve and develop that. What this whole thing will give you is so much clarity on where you're spending too much time, where things are a bit fragmented. It can give you where you need to automate, where you need to refine, where your process or your structure or your systems aren't quite supporting you right now, and then what you can do to be able to improve that. The goal might not be to completely remove yourself from the business. Now, it might be, but the idea of this by design is for you to structure the business to be as involved as you want to be and take a step back where needed versus not having it run without you. If you're getting to this point, firstly, if you enjoyed it, please hit like, head to the channel and subscribe, because I produce 2 of these every single month for you to be able to work on, improve your customer experience and operations. And I love creating more and more of these. If there's a topic that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments. But if you're looking at all of this and you're thinking, holy shit, we need to have a look at our customer experience and operations. I'm the founder, I'm drowning, and I want to see where I can remove myself a little bit, where I can add more structure, and where I can design the experiences for our clients better so that we can improve profitability, increase the value of what we do, provide better transformations, and bring them back again. I have the link in the comments to book a discovery call with me. It's completely free. We can jump on for 30 minutes and chat about what's happening in your business right now. And you will either come away from that with clear actions for what you can do without me included in it, or we can look at an opportunity where we can do it together so that you do not have to do it on your own, and we can build that structure in your business, map it all out, and understand what is next for you as you grow your adventure or experience travel business. I'll see you in the next one.